Welcome to Mad Props. I am your host, Chris Schnabel, and today we are going to do a throwback interview with Rev Run from Run-DMC. I'll give a quick overview of what these interview throwbacks are, and then we're going to get right to the interview, and then stick around after the interview, and we'll talk a little bit about the history of that interview. Before we get started, make sure to follow us on social media at Mad Props Pod, wherever you get your social media. Or you could subscribe to us on YouTube, and then you can see all the podcasts plus all the clips that come out. You can also subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you comment and like and all that stuff. Give us 5 stars. Help us boost a little bit. We're trying to grow and expand more and more, so we don't have to do things like this, these throwback episodes. Before we get to the episode, I will say this is from 2012, so it's well over 10 years old. It is one of the first interviews I ever did. I think it was like number 2 or 3. It was at the University of New Haven when I was attending there at WNHU. And the reason we're doing a throwback episode is I just didn't have the time to produce an episode this week. Now, that being said, I do have episodes recorded and banked, but I was not able to edit them together, record the opening, and get clips together and all that stuff. I really needed something that was already done. And the pre-show that I'm doing now just had to be something I could do quickly. So sorry for a throwback episode. I try not to do these, but this week is one that's very special to me. So I'm happy to be able to produce and show you my interview with Rev Run. And hopefully we compare and contrast of how much better I've gotten at interviewing, because I don't remember how good I was at interviewing. I'm going to listen to it, and then we're going to, at the end of this, come back and kind of talk about it. So enjoy Rev Run, Mad Props. We'll see you in a minute. Play the intro. Let's go.
WNHU 88.7 Weston. Today we have a very special person in the studio. We're excited to be able to sit down and chat with him. He's visiting UNH to spread his insights on leadership. He's most notable for a founding member of the legendary hip-hop group Run-DMC and TV star on the popular show Run's House. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Rev Run.
Hey, what's happening?
How you doing?
Good.
How was the trip over here?
Not too far.
Not too far?
Not an hour drive.
Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man.
Since you're here to discuss leadership, my first question is, what makes a good leader?
A leader is someone who knows how to take instruction as well as give instructions. You only can gain people's confidence when you're willing to take correction as well. So the more humble you are and the more helpful you are, people respond to that.
What qualities make a good leader?
Back to the first answer is when you're humble and you show people that we're all human, they respond to you better than standing there acting like you know it all. People hate know-it-alls.
Do you believe anyone could be a good leader?
I don't believe everybody was meant to lead, because if everybody was a leader, then we wouldn't have any followers and everybody be going crazy. So, you know, the qualities of a good leader is to be able to listen.
You've had so many accomplishments on different platforms: musician, actor, author, entrepreneur, businessman, Reverend. Which one was the most difficult for you?
Really, the best one, the one that I'm constantly challenged with, is just being a father and a husband. And that's the one that matters the most to me.
What challenges do you have to overcome to get to these?
Well, the challenge you have to overcome being a good father and husband is communication. You have to be able to hear everybody out. I always go by the rule, listen to the whispers so you don't have to hear the screams. And usually people are trying to tell you what's going on before it gets to a screaming match.
What made you decide to become a Reverend?
I didn't land on this collar. This collar landed on me. It's kind of, I didn't think this was where I was going, but God had other plans.
I'm interested in your work ethics. What's a good recipe to make a successful work ethic?
Usually when you have responsibilities and you take them serious, it'll make you work. If you don't take your responsibilities serious or your passion serious, then you won't have any work ethic. It's all about being responsible.
You and your wife wrote a book titled Take Back the Family, How to Raise Respectful and Loving Kids. What drove you to writing about this topic?
I think many people don't take family serious. And when you don't take family serious, then you really can't get anybody else's attention. And when your home is in order, you can have everything else around you in order. So for me, to have my family in order is the only reason why I can have any respect in the streets.
Do you feel there's a lack of respect in this generation of kids?
I don't really focus on lack of respect or talking down on other rappers or other people. I just do my job.
If there was one thing you could say to kids of this generation, what would that be?
I would tell the kids of this generation to, if you're trying to make it in anything in life, learn to be a good listener. And if you can become an intern, you can become the president of the company.
What do you think of the future of hip-hop?
I'm watching it. It's going, a lot of new rappers, a lot of good stuff going on. I'm a Drake fan.
You're Drake. And any other newer hip-hop artists that you really like?
There's a couple that's okay, but right now, Drake has the crown, kind of. I mean, besides with Jay-Z and Kanye, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I was just going to ask, who are your favorite people in the industry?
I just named all three.
All three? So what did you think about the new Eminem album then?
I like him. He's been around for a while, and I'm sure he's going to do very well. But at the end of the day, when you're around and then you come back, you have to prove it over and over again, and he's doing a good job right now.
That's all. We'll be back. You are listening to WNHU 88.7 West Haven.
Thank you.
Honestly, listening back to that, it was not as as cringy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot cringier. Very question answer. So that was the third interview I ever did. I did Preston Tucker and Mike Zanino at the same time when they were at the University of Florida. It was the first ever big time interview I did. And then I think this was next. And a little backstory. So I transferred to the University of New Haven my sophomore year of college. And my sister worked at the radio station. I don't think she was the GM yet, but she worked at the radio station. And they had Rev Run coming in. I was not on radio yet. I was not doing any of that. I was actually a sports management major. And they said Rev Run's coming in, and they need somebody to interview him. And I've said it a bunch of times on this podcast and other podcasts and stuff like that. And I said it at my panel, I never really got starstruck, and I'm a huge Run-DMC fan, especially at that time. But I was like, yeah, let's do it. I thrive in these types of opportunities. I look for these types of opportunities. And this was just a big one. This was a big opportunity to do. And this was the biggest person I will have had. It's honestly probably one of the biggest interviews I've ever had, because Run-DMC is so influential to hip hop overall in history. I guess people can rank that if they want outside of this. Comment below if you think Rev Run is one of the best interviews that I've ever had as a professional in this industry. But I said, yeah, I'll do it. When and where, and he was coming to speak at the university for students in the theater. And I mean, that's a good get for the school to get. We did get a lot of really good people. We got Rev Run, we had Lee Daniels. Who else did we have? We had a lot of good people. I'm not going to go try to name them all, but when I first got there, when those people came in to speak, I was the one that was usually picked to do it after this interview. So it kind of jump-started my career. And now here we are, over 10 years later. Was it 13 years later or something? I don't know math too well. But, so I did it. And like I said, it was 5 minutes long. And the questions, it was very question-answer because that's how I was directed to do it. I haven't really done radio yet at this point. I don't even think I had my own radio show yet at this point. So I didn't have the experience to just be like, yeah, I'm going to do it this way and then do it that way. I had to kind of adhere to what was told to me by the radio station. So I had a list in front of me, in front of the board, the soundboard, and I kind of had to go step by step down it. He didn't really give expanded answers on anything because it was just kind of like an obligation of being there. He was like, all right, so I'm speaking here, and I'm going to just go do my thing and go home. So it wasn't really a big obligation for him to be there. It was just kind of like part of the deal. But everything was just those were all given to me. I didn't come up with any. I came up with one of the questions of the entire thing, and you could tell which one. You could tell like how the conversation kind of shifts a little bit on the one. My question was, who are some of your favorite rappers coming up today? And he said Drake, which I'm sure the Drake fans are really happy about. This was 2012, I think. So Drake was still relatively young. He definitely was already blowing up because I saw him when I was at the University of Florida when he did his Club Paradise tour that had like Waka Flocka and 2 Chainz and all those guys on it back in the day. But he was touring like college basketball arenas, so he would not do that anymore. He's much bigger than that now. But this yeah, so that was the only question I had, and the Eminem album just came out, and I like Eminem, but I was a huge Eminem fan then. I was actually kind of shocked. I didn't remember that question, and when he gave that answer of like, you just got to keep proving it. I mean, this is 2012. Like I think he was already considered one of the greatest of all time at that point. So it makes me wonder, like, does he not like Eminem? I mean, I don't know if I'm starting rumors or not, but does Rev Run not like Eminem? Like, is that a thing? I don't know. Today's day and age, if he was on Mad Props right now, I would have followed up with like, are you a fan of his? Like, what do you think of his career? Now, it's much different today's day and age. Like, we're talking over 10 years later. Like, I would hope he would be like, oh, he's got to prove it back and forth. It's like, he released some of the best-selling albums of all time, and that was 30 years ago. So I think he's proven it already. But at the time, I was like 19. I was told, just ask what's on the sheet. Do not go off the sheet, which I'm assuming means those were the pre-approved questions when he came in because he didn't want any curveballs or anything like that. That was something about college radio. People would love coming on, but they had to know what was going to be asked before because they didn't want curveballs. And college kids don't usually care. There's no FCC regulations on college radio. I don't think there really is on any radio, but there's not on college radio. And they don't want curveballs, so they're like, no, don't do that. But yeah. So it went over much better than I thought it would. I was like, kind of like grinding my teeth, like, oh, I don't know if I want to listen to this. I don't like listening to my old interviews, but I think I did a pretty good job of overall, like, getting answers out of him and stuff like that. But anyway, so that was one of the first ones. I'd also go on to interview Jalen Rose, Mobb Deep, Waka Flocka, Jackie Onassis, which was like an Australian hip hop band. I'll tell you right now, I haven't been able to find them ever. Like, I don't know what happened to them. I know they had to change their name because they were Jackie Onassis on Twitter, and they started tweeting like they were her, and like changed their profile picture and everything. And they were a verified account because they were like a growing hip hop group. Some Showtime show had their show as like I don't remember if it was like the commercial or like the main theme, and it kind of blew up from there. And they were like, oh, it'd be funny if we did this, and they got in trouble and they got kicked off of Twitter. And then I don't know what happened to them from that point on. His name was Kai, and he's from Jackie Onassis, and I don't know what happened to him. He was really good. But those are like this is what started all. Basically, what I do today on this podcast, what I do today, interviewing, like the way I've built myself up. It's all from this interview. And that's really why I wanted this interview to be on Mad Props. Like, I do these throwbacks to kind of encapsulate like these old interviews that don't have a place on the internet, that are just like sitting on a SoundCloud somewhere or sitting on a Facebook page that's the post is 20 years old. I want to revisit some of this stuff to show my growth. Like, at times I need to. Like, this is the time I needed to. I didn't have anything ready to go, so I needed to figure out something quickly. But like, I don't want to just bring up like the old Monica Abbott. She's a guest of the show, but I have an old one with her as well, or the old Allie Alberts, which I think was a throwback back in the day. But like today, with the way this podcast has grown, I just don't want to throw stuff out there that doesn't need to be out there. But this is an amazing one because this is my first big interview. This was it. I know I said Mike Zanenu and Preston Tucker. Those guys were fine. This was my first major interview ever in my history. So like of this podcast, of this thing, this is a big moment for me. And that's why I wanted to share it today with needing to do a throwback. I've always known I wanted to do this throwback at some point. I didn't think it would come out of, I need an episode, but you know what? It was going to happen eventually. I had it banked up and I had it ready to go. And all I had to do is record and kind of talk about it. And it's fun to talk about it again. It's been, like 12, 13 years or something like that since I'd done this interview, and to listen to it again. That was the first time I've listened to it in probably over 10 years. I don't listen to my old interviews. Like I do, I'll go back and listen to some of them to try to like improve myself, but I don't like to go back and listen. I cringe at the sound of my voice on camera, not because I don't like my voice, but like I always think I could have done better. Like anything I do, I'm like, I could have done better. And so I get a little worked up when I go and listen to that kind of stuff. So I truly hope everybody enjoyed it. I really hope you enjoyed that podcast interview. Let me know in the comments below. Should we ever try to bring Rev Run back on? Should we see what's going on with him today? Did you enjoy that? Do you think I've grown? All the comments below, leave them there. Make sure to follow us on social media at MadPropsPod. Make sure to follow us on YouTube at MadPropsPod. And make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. That's it. Short episode, but I'm glad that we were able to bring that to you. I'll see you later. Peace out. Thank you for listening. Go listen to some old episodes. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.